So look, if you want to grow your wealth, your income, and increase the amount of time off, then these are the shortcuts that can help. Welcome to the Wealth Creation Podcast. And good morning, everybody. It's Dan Latto speaking, and welcome to today's podcast. So in this podcast, we're going to talk to you about content distribution and how to get the perfect content distribution for your product or service. So as you probably are aware, we own a content creation company. We create lots of images, lots of videos. We've got thousands of pieces of content going out every single month for myself and for my clients. And we also then get monthly reports. So at the end of each month, we can see what's going well, what's not going well, what we can do to improve, what type of posts or what type of content are getting the best response, etc., etc. So when I go through that report for each client and I have a look at each one, because it's just giving me little bits of insights, little bits of information, but I wouldn't normally get just running my own business. But when I can see the type of stuff that we're doing for other people's businesses as well, that's working for them, but then works for us at the same time, we go, okay, that's the type of content that we know is working. And what's really interesting here is that there's definitely a distribution pattern between the amount of engagement. Okay, so let me just do this. The amount of engagement versus the amount of posts. There's a direct correlation. The more that you post, the more that you get engagement. But you might get less engagement per post, right? So if you're posting 3 times in an hour, you let's say 3 people engage, that's 9 people. If you post once in an hour, you might get 6 people engaging on that one piece of content. So you're getting more engagement per piece of content, okay? But overall, the amount of engagement per content is now less per content because it's distributed across the pieces of content. And if you're getting less engagement, and remember, I don't think engagement is a good key performance indicator for your content. I think it's a terrible indicator. The indicator that you want is your bank balance, right? Yeah, I can look at these guides and these reports all day long. That doesn't mean anything. My hand waving up and down and the direct correlation between engagement and the amount of posts that we put out is completely and utterly irrelevant. The important one for me is how many phone calls does it generate? How many conversations am I getting out of posting? How many conversations are our clients getting through the increase in content? Okay, so that's, for me, the indicator. Like, we've told this story so many times. You know, we've had people who've come through, they've not engaged on anything. They didn't follow us, they didn't like anything, not commented on anything, and then they signed up, right? So engagement can be a very poor methodology of looking at what's going on. My engagement's down. Who gives a shit? How's your money doing? Well, money's up. Great, do more of it. Oh no, I'm going to stop working with you because I need more engagement. What are you doing? It's crazy. Why would you do that? It just doesn't make any sense. Well, my best mate down the pub, he told me, oh yes, the old best mate who told me not to invest in property and so on because he knew better, and now he's still down the pub telling people not to do it. So like, you need to work this out for yourself, obviously, but there are different types of content as well that will get you different types of engagement. Like, some of the content that we send out is just to go, hey, we're still here, we haven't gone anywhere, don't forget about us, nothing to do, no information to read, but don't forget about us, right? That's one type of content. Another type of content is something like this, where it goes, hey, guys, we've got a piece of content, it's about 20 minutes long, it's you and me in a little room together, we're just having a conversation. All right, it's one way, so shut up and listen. But it's a one-way conversation, 20 minutes of content. Now, this piece of content here is great, right? And not enough people do it by far. What happens is we take on a client and that we create images and videos, and we create these these pattern interruption videos, which is stock footage with words and some music. Some of them are very good. I was talking to one of our guys and it made his mum cry, and it was for the Penzi Trust because it had great music, it had great text on it, and the images were really powerful as well. So we know that kind of stuff works, but that kind of stuff just on its own doesn't work, right? In Gary Vee's book, Jab, 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 Hook, those type of posts are just hooks. Let me explain. Jab, 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 Hook means content, sale. Content, sale. It doesn't mean sale. And that's a mistake. Now, if all your posts that are going out are salesy type posts, hey, look at us, look how awesome we are, that's not going to help anybody. You've got to get a combination of content between images, like the stock images that we use. Like, just to clarify, we don't use stock images. We create images from either your photos or stock photos, and then we put texts and words and that kind of thing to make it look really good. We have a team of full-time professional graphic designers that do that for us. So it's not. We started off on Canva, and we stopped using Canva because we increased the quality of our graphic designers. Very rare now do we use Canva. Some of my old stuff that's going out is still Canva because we're getting the new stuff just redone right now. And obviously, what's it called? The tailor, not the tailor, who repairs shoes? The cobbler. The cobbler's children has no shoes. I'm at the bottom of the pile for getting my stuff refreshed. But we don't use Canva at all now. But we used to, and Canva's really good. And if you can't use anything else, then use Canva. That's fine. I don't have an issue with that at all. It gets you started. But you can't just use that type of content. You can just use a product image on its own with no text. Just a little bit of wording underneath, our latest release, and install for customer. That works, but that on its own also doesn't work, right? You've got to get the Canva kind of style stuff. You've got to get the graphic design stuff. You've got to get the product on its own stuff. You've got to get someone talking to the video. If you've got a manufacturing process, go and talk, bring the guy in. This is Bob. Bob runs a manufacturing process. Bob, talk us through from start to finish how you create whatever it is that you create. That's awesome. Like, we might do an interview with one of our content coordinators, and we'll just do a one-on-one interview. That's awesome, because for clients wanting to come on board, they want to know how the process works. And actually, we might do that in the next couple of days. See how he feels about it, first of all. Let me just grab a quick drink. So we might, bring on the content coordinator. One of the biggest problems you have with clients: not being ready, not having their Facebook stuff set up, not having all their LinkedIn pages. Like, we're ready to go, but they haven't got a logo, they don't know what the brand colours are, they don't know what they're saying. And it's like, okay, let's get that in place. Let's improve our processes. And that's a great interview for us to have, because then it teaches people who are thinking about coming on board how to best utilize us. Like, it's almost like this is how you use the product type video, which is a great video that you should also be doing. And people get really nervous about these one-on-one kind of interaction type videos. This video, there is no production facility here whatsoever. I keep thinking, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a little studio downstairs in the basement. Awesome. And then I remember I live in Spain, and it's August, and it's 35 degrees. I mean, it was 40 degrees last year, right? And in that basement, by the way, there's no air conditioning in that basement. And if there was, it would make too much noise, right? And I used to work out in that basement. I was running for 20 minutes in 35-degree heat. Like, that, by the way, is really hard. So, like, we have some challenges to overcome on that. But then actually I'm thinking, let's just go outside using natural sunlight, much better to do these type of interactions with. And in the next couple of weeks, we'll be moving from here in my inside office. This is where I work from, and we'll be moving outside. But those type of videos work very well too. Lifestyle videos, we just started doing a daily Dan, and it's not daily because, like, I don't do that much in my life. I don't have that many meetings. I get up, I go to the beach, and I walk the dog. That's it. And I don't do that every day either. I go for breakfast on the beach, but I don't do that every day. I get up, I have my coffee, we go live, and then I do some work. That's generally it. And then I might pop out and do whatever. But my life's pretty dull, especially in winter. In summer, I probably end up going to the beach a bit more. But then the beach is fuller, and then you just look weird filming yourself, etc. So, but those type of videos work too, because people want to get an insight into what's going on in the background. What does Dan's day look like? People are nosy, people are voyeurs, that kind of thing, and that kind of content works very well. So you need a combination. Now, one of the things that we do pretty successfully recently is we'll take a video like this, we'll pull out 1 minute segments, and we'll create a video out of these 1 minute segments. And we do it. This is why I'm driving and I'm videoing at the same time, which is perfectly safe, by the way. It's just like I'm having a conversation. I press record, and then we start driving. And then when we pull over, I hit stop. And I'm just literally, so I'm talking to the passenger, except you're the passenger, right? The camera's just there. So that works very well too. We pull out 1 minute snippets from that, and then we start distributing them all over the place. And then when we talk about actually distributing some of this content, you can't have all your images on a Monday and all your videos on a Tuesday and all your Facebook Lives on a Wednesday. You've got to take this content and you've got to split it up. So you're having different bits at different times. Our software that we use for distributing our content will actually tell me what are the best times for posting, which is really cool as well. And I actually can't remember what time that is. I think it might be 9 a.m. or something. I can't remember. Maybe it's 12. I can't remember. I'll have a look afterwards. But you should be distributing your content out all over the place, right? And this is the problem that most people have, is they start off doing it really well, and then they just get too busy. Life gets in the way, and they stop creating content because it takes an awful long time to create content. And then they stop scheduling content, and that takes a long time as well. And before long, it's just too much. And they're really hit and miss on their content. They do a couple of days, and then there's nothing for a week, and then a couple more days, and nothing for a week. And I know this because this is what I used to do. You know, before, I'm definitely a bottleneck in my business, which is why I don't run my business. I have other people that run the people that do the work, right? Because I would just be a complete and utter bottleneck. My job is to run the people that run the people. So I run the managers, and they know I'm a bottleneck too, so try and give me as little as possible because I just won't do it, right? So because I'm inconsistent as a human being, okay? That doesn't mean my business is inconsistent because I pay other people for their consistency, okay? So that's how it works in my business, and I just know what I'm like. I'm just dreadful. You know, the Facebook lives that we do, if I don't get up and just do them as soon as I get up, the wife and kids goes to school, I'll grab my coffee, and sometimes I'm about to go live, and I'm like, what am I going to talk about? Because I still don't know. And then I'm like, oh, I know what I'm going to talk about. Let's talk about content distribution, whatever. And then we go live. But it doesn't matter. I've got to get my content out as quick as possible on the morning, because otherwise I lose faith, I lose confidence, I get busy doing other stuff, I just don't feel like it. But doing it this way, it works really well. And then we've got the raw material. This right here is raw material that we can do all sorts of stuff with later on. We can put some drone footage at the start, some drone footage at the end, put some music all the way through that comes in, so it's like a lifestyle-y kind of video. We can pull out little snippets. We can pull out the MP3 audio, which is what we do. On Sunday, I was just putting a week's worth of podcasts in place because I missed 2 days of podcasts because I hadn't done it. Because I'm a bottleneck, and I know I'm a bottleneck, and I like to do the podcasts, right? I don't like other people doing them because they have to listen to the 45 or 20 minutes and then type up a paragraph about what a podcast is like, and it's like, I'm the best person to actually do that. Anyway, so I do all that stuff, but I'm still a bottleneck, and you're a bottleneck in your business because you've got better things to be doing. Your business shouldn't be in the business of creating images. Goodness me. It's just not what you should be doing. But just like we get everybody signed up on subscription, so when we take a client on, they pay us first. My business is not to chase clients. That's not my business at all. And if you're a client and you think it's my job to chase you for money, you won't be a client for very long. So because that's not my job. My job is to create content for your business and schedule it. It's not to chase you for money, because if we can do that, if that's what people want to do, but then we're going to charge them double because our time for chasing money is more valuable, right? So where are we up to? So the type of content that you've got to get out there has to be a combination of all sorts of stuff. Little snippets, you walking a dog, pattern interruption videos, images, long form copy. I went through a stage doing lots of long form copy, and I really came out of doing that. But we got a lot of better response on that. Just can't be bothered doing it because I'm a bottleneck. Probably one of our next hires will be a copywriter who can just write all that stuff for me. It means I don't have to, because it definitely does work. So if you can do that, that works as well. But really what works, it's like saying, oh, a cake, you just need flour. No, you need flour and butter. No, you need flour, butter, and eggs. No, you need flour, butter, eggs, salt. I don't know what goes in a cake. Milk, I don't know. You need all of these to build your content cake, right? Because doing it off one piece of content, off Facebook Lives, or just off images, or just off video, just off podcasts, that's not going to work. You've got to be omnipresent. You've got to be on all channels all the time. And if you're not doing that, you go, oh, well, I did Facebook Lives every day for a week, didn't do anything. Well, of course not. It's like saying, if you're 5 stone overweight, it's like saying, what's it like saying? It's like saying, I went on a diet for a week. Oh, I'm not super slim anymore. It didn't work. It's crazy. It doesn't work like that. Content takes a while to build up. And that's how it should be. So look, that will do it for today. I hope that's useful. on your content distribution. I hope it gives you some ideas towards the type of content that you need to be putting out there. Let me know if it does, and we'll catch up with you in tomorrow's podcast. My name's Dan Latto. Take care. Hey, it's Dan here. Thank you for listening. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Please click like or subscribe to the entire podcast.